If you contact enough events, what's eventually going to happen to you is a couple of events are going to say, oh, we only have a limited budget. We're a nonprofit. We don't have that much money to spend on a speaker. So what do you do when that happens? And this will eventually happen to you if you contact enough events. A ton of events will say that. They will naturally say like, oh yeah, we might be interested, but we don't really have a big budget to hire speakers. So, I mean, can you tell us what you charge? And when this happened to me years ago, what would happen in my brain is this. Let's say you charge $10,000, okay? Let's say that's like your average fee or what you normally want to charge you, $10,000. You read that statement. They say, oh, we're a nonprofit. We don't have that much money to spend on speakers. What do you charge? In my mind, I was thinking, oh, dang it, okay, it's a nonprofit. They don't have that much money to spend, okay. I mean, I normally do 10 grand, okay. I guess I could say 5 grand then. And so that's what I do. I come back and I say, oh, well, it's going to be 5 grand. I understand you're not, it's going to be 5 grand. They would reply back saying, oh, that's more than our budget. I mean, is there anything you can do? And then I'm like, damn it. I'm like, okay, well, 3 grand, right? And so what speakers do is they naturally negotiate against themselves. So an event says, oh, we don't really have the budget, or we're a nonprofit, whatever. They say that before you even quote a price. You as a speaker, you naturally think, oh, I got to go lower on my fee, right? You naturally do that. And then whatever you quote, once again, they come back and say, that's still too high. They're like, oh, that's higher than we thought, right? So what you have to do is you have to ignore every word that they say. Remember that buyers are liars. This is just a common saying in sales. Buyers are liars. They say that because they know you will naturally decrease your price before you quote them. And then when you do quote them, they will still say that is more than our budget. So when an event says, oh, what do you charge? I mean, we don't really have a big budget. Or what do you charge? We're a nonprofit, whatever. In my mind, I ignore all that. I'm like, I don't care, right? I'm just like, here's my normal fee. It's 20 grand, right? So I just naturally quote my normal fee. If they want to say that's too much and all that, they can do that. But still, I never decrease my price, whether it's a nonprofit, whether they say we don't have a big budget. I never decrease the price when I first quote them. If they want to negotiate afterwards, and if I want to negotiate afterwards, then sure, we can do that. But whatever you do, when people say, oh, it's, I mean, sure, we might be interested, but we don't really have a big budget for speakers. Whatever you do not decrease your price. Whatever you do. Because just remember that they have talked to more vendors than you have, okay? So when they're talking to vendors, they know this game of, if I say we don't really have that much money to spend, or our budget's not that big, if I say that, they know that they're going to get a discount. This is just negotiating in general. I mean, in fact, if you go to any of the malls, okay, and you see a lot of Israelis, this is what my mom does. So my mom's from Israel, right? Whenever she goes to the mall and she sees the Israelis like in the shopping center, like in this, they're just selling stuff, lotion, whatever. They say like, hey, come over here, let me see your hand, let me put some lotion on your hand, it's going to make you look beautiful and everything. You're ugly, but it's going to make you look beautiful. And so when you see that, what my mom would do, if she wants to buy it, she would always negotiate every single time. She's like, oh, I mean, you're talking about 20 bucks, I mean, I'll give you 10. And then they start negotiating because she knows that they're going to naturally decrease the price. And so you want to always remember that's what people are doing to you as a speaker. They know that by saying we're a nonprofit, or by saying, oh, we don't really have the budget, they know you're going to naturally decrease your price. Whatever you do not decrease your price. You can negotiate after you quote, but make sure the full quote is the highest amount that you charge. Okay, and later on you can negotiate if you want. But just remember that like nonprofits, they have the money, okay? Nonprofits say we don't have money. Nonprofit, the only difference between a nonprofit and a for-profit is that at the end of the year, a nonprofit has to show that they didn't make profits. But they can make millions of dollars. They're just gonna simply say we're a nonprofit because they know that you have been trained mentally to actually decrease your price. So whatever you do, when people say things like that to you, imagine if they didn't say it at all. When people say, oh, we're a nonprofit, we don't really have a budget, I mean, I don't know, what do you charge? We don't really spend that much on speakers. Whenever someone says that, Ignore it. Imagine they didn't say it and just proceed as normal.